Hi guys! I'm a little bit further ahead in this week's spread than usual, and that's because I wanted to show you an advantage of using digital cards and Photoshop. So the reason I've already got this is because I spent a few minutes in Photoshop planning out how I was going to do this week's spread, using digital cards from my Little Moments kit and also from Brandi Kincaid's latest Extravagant Hope kit. I placed all my photos, decided what cards I wanted to use, and then I could very easily print it all out. So let me show you how I did that. So I've just started by opening a new canvas in Photoshop, and it's 12 by 12 inches because that's the size of my Project Life page. And I'm just going to drag out some guidelines, and I am going to do it so it's a full page of 3 by 4s. So I'm dragging a guideline to 3, 6 and 9 inches, and then 4 and 8. So that will give me the pockets for my pocket page. So the first thing I want to do is pick out the photos for my week, and you've seen me do this before too, so I'm just going to pick out a few. I didn't have many that I super loved this week, which is a bit of a pain, but I'm just going to grab them from iPhoto and just drag them onto my canvas in Photoshop. So I'm not actually going to print them from here. Like I said, this is just a way to really quickly plan what the page is going to look like so I know what I need to print later on. So I'm not editing these photos or really cropping them that well or anything like that. I'm just sort of plonking them onto the canvas so I can see where my photos might go and what cards, digital cards I might need to print to go with them. So got one there, and I will just whip through this process really quickly so you don't have to watch me do too much of it. So I've got this 4x6 photo, and it's the only 4x6 photo I've got this week really, and I don't want to just have one, so I think I'm going to do like a whole page of 3x4s. So I'm just going to trim this down to 3x4, and to do that I'm just going to use my marquee tool up here and select the part of the photo that I do want to see. It's on that photo layer, and then just click the mask tool, and now I can only see that part of the photo. So I've got all of these photos together, and I sort of don't like how that looks, so I'm going to do a little bit of shuffling before I carry on too much further. When I'm doing pages like this, I do want to intersperse the cards and the photos so not all the photos are grouped in one place. So down here, I mean, I'm either going to have a photo next to each other. Either way, it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. I know that my top left one's going to be a title card, so this photo really does have to go here, which means I'm probably going to end up with 2 photos next to each other anywhere else. So I think I'm happy with that. I'm just going to leave it there. There were a few other photos that I had for this week, but I know I've documented them elsewhere, or I'm planning to document them elsewhere, so these are really it for the photos this week. And I like how they're all quite pink and blue, so I'm thinking that my cards this week are going to be very colourful as well. So I've opened up the folders. I've got some of my Little Moments digital cards, and I've also got the Extravagant Hope March cards from Brandi Kincaid, because I think the colours for both of these sets work really nicely together, and I loved Brandi's designs. There were a few that I definitely knew I wanted to use this week. For instance, this one here, Ready or Not, Here I Come, and I knew I had this photo here, and I think it will work really nicely with that, so I'm going to plonk that up there. And the other one I really liked was this one, so I'll just pop that there for now. And I know that there's this card, and I don't want to use it as a card, so let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop this in here, and I want to make it a bit smaller. when I print this, I'll scale it down. And I'm going to do that same thing I did before. I'm going to mask this, but with a round tool, because I want to be able to punch this out later and use it as an embellishment on this photo here. So this is just rough, but so it's going to look something like that, because you know, that was my haul stuff arriving, and it was about time that it finally arrived. So I think that works nicely there. And there was only really one 4x6 in her kit, because the other one was a March card, and this is a week from February. So I'm thinking, I don't love green. I could change the colors. It does have that same blue in it though that I quite like, so I'll leave that there for now. And I know I want to use this Right Now card next to my panda photo because it picks up the red tones quite nicely. I don't like these two cards together, so I will move that into the other available spot down there. And a background card for this photo here, I think I want something lighter. So just go through my cards. There's this grey one, but I'm trying to go for colourful this week. There's blue lines. I think I'll go for this yellow grid, because it ties in the yellow. I know they're not exact same yellows, but it ties in the yellow from the Extravagant Hope card. And then last one, I want something to do my journaling on. And I think I like this one here. So now I've got all these cards in place. I'm not actually loving this green one up here, so I'm gonna try one of the cards from the Little Moments kits. And I think I'm gonna have to go with the rainbow one just because it is so bright and colourful this week, and that will tie in all those colours together. So it's got the same yellow, it's got similar blues, it's got the pinks. So this is a super bright and colourful week, but I really love it. So this is my rough guide for how the page is going to look. And so now I can go ahead and actually open all those photos individually, edit them, crop them if needed, and print them. And same with the digital cards. The digital cards come on PDF pages as well, but because I know exactly which ones I'm going to print, I'm just going to open a new canvas, an A4 canvas for me in Photoshop, add those PNG files onto there, and that way I only need to print the exact ones that I'm going to use. So now I'll do all that printing and come back to the desk. So now everything is printed out, and basically all I have to do is embellish this page. These couple of 3x4s that are going to go into a 4x6 pocket. I am just using a couple of bits of washi tape on the back to stick them together just so they don't fall about in the pocket when I put them in there. And I've only got that one little photo to stick down. So this is what I was talking about, that card from the Extravagant Hope kit. I printed it out slightly smaller and just used my circle punch to punch it out, stuck it down, and then I can trim off the excess. And then I'm going to get a few little pieces out of this cut apart sheet. Now, this is like the second or third time I've actually printed this cut apart sheet, so that again is another advantage. With digital, you can print them as many times as you need. Usually I trim them all out in one go, and I will say that works a lot easier than trimming it out as you go, as you'll see. I keep changing my mind, and every time I change my mind about something, I have to recut something else. So my tip would probably be cut them all out to start off with. So you'll see here I added this label but decided I didn't like the pink, so then I had to cut out the blue one again. I decided before I go too much further that I'll just work on my title card, and I haven't done stitching on a title card for quite a while, so I pulled out my wood veneer numbers, picked out the 7, and I'm just tracing that 7 backwards. I've flipped the 7 so it's backwards on the back of my title card there. And then I'm just using my drawing pin and my piercing mat just to pierce some holes around there. The reason I trace it onto the back rather than the front, especially with digitally printed cards like this, is I don't want to have to use an eraser onto anything that I've printed, because it may well remove some of the printing, or it certainly will lighten it noticeably. So that's why I've done it from the back. And then I've just gone ahead and stitched that just with some white thread so the 7 stands out. Gonna use one of the labels from the cut apart sheet to do my date stamping, and decided it was easier to do that on the desk than once I had stuck that down over top of the stitching, so well done me. Can stick that down, and then I'm gonna add the word week, and I did pull out all these little tiny alphas that I've been trying desperately not to hoard, and you'll see I'm gonna use a lot of them. I couldn't decide between the white and the black, and I decided that the white looked good with the white stitching. But then I put them down and it looked a little bit lonely just sitting there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create sort of a line of the word week across the whole card. And for the rest of it, I'm gonna use these beautiful navy blue colored thickers. So I'm just roughly putting it across the page, and then I just used the side of the sticker sheet just to make sure they were straight. A few of them just needed a little bit of straightening up. And then there are a couple that go over the edge, which I can just trim down with scissors. So that's my title card, and then I can go ahead and just, you know me, I end up sporadically working sort of across the spread. I stuck this label down and added a little bit of journaling. And then on this photo here, I'm not going to do any journaling, but I am going to just add some of these other little pink fresh puffy stickers just to spell out yes. I like that the yellow sort of brings out the yellows in the spread, so I decided to do the same thing with this photo down here. I'm going to spell out hello with these pink alphas. And then I was about to stick this little circle down and decided I would add a label underneath it for my journaling as well. This was a lovely surprise I got in the mail from one of my gorgeous subscribers, so that definitely had to get documented. And then I grabbed these Studio Puff stickers from Citrus Twist because the colours worked in really nicely, so I'm going to add a couple of them around the page. And then I'm using the white part of this card here to fill in my journaling, using that sort of like rough journaling lines. And I'm pretty much finished. I just decided that I wanted to add something a little bit extra, and that little bit extra is going to be a few of these tiny word phrases. So again, this would have been so much easier had I just stopped filming and trimmed everything out, but I decided not to. I was going for speed. And so I just trim them out as I go. And I'm adding quite a few. I really love them. They tie all the colors together because I'm adding different colors onto different spreads, different photos, sorry. So it ties the whole very colorful page together. And just one more, I think, and I'm going to stick these down. I'm just holding them with tweezers and using my Martha Stewart glue pen to stick them down. And as I was doing this, I was thinking it would be really cool to print this cut apart sheet on sticker paper, and so that all these little embellishments were stickers. That would make life a lot easier as well. So I'm definitely going to try that next time. Stick these last two down, and then I decided I would add a couple more of those little love heart puffy stickers to my title card just to tie that into the spread. And there's the page all done. You can see how doing just that little bit of planning in Photoshop really did make the whole page come together so much quicker on the desk, and that is just one more advantage of using digital products. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!